Oh man, look who it is and look who is back. Life be lifing, things be happening. We had some tragedies and we've had some sad times. This just gotten in the way a little bit for us being on here. But guess what? We here and we are here with a New Year Eve Day special podcast. Your boys, DK, Thomas over there, TJ, DK and Tree Podcast. We're on the air. And when I can say I am happy to be back, I'm happy to be back.
Right.
Oh my God, I am happy to be back. And on this day of going out, last day of the year, yeah, we going to get this one on and popping. There's a lot of things we missed, a lot of things we discussed. I've been missing the wrap-ups because of work and all of the lifey things that have been happening. But let me jump on week 16 here real fast and get this out the way. Now, all the Steelers fans, y'all did get some shine because we haven't been here since the Steelers beat us. But I'm going to give you a shine if you come through because y'all beat us on that first game. But we put a shellacking on y'all the second game, 34-17. Packers, goose egg the Saints, 34-0. Let's see. Cowboys beat the Bucks 26-24. Wow, they still holding on. Cowboys. Patriots, the Bills, 24-21 over the Patriots. You see, Dolphins beat the 49ers 29-17. Raiders over the Jaguars. The Raiders? What? 19-14. Vikes beat the Seahawks. And we're going to talk about the Vikes, too. Okay, 27-24. Let's see, Panthers beat the Cards. 36-30. What the hell's going on here? Commanders. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about this game. Commanders beat the Eagles 36-33. But there was a lot of refs that was involved in that game. I got a lot to say about that one. Let's see. Colts beat the Titans 38-30. Let's see. Lions. Oh, yeah, they just tearing the fur off people. 34-17 over the Bears. Falcons beat the Giants 34-7. Bengals beat the Browns 24-6. Let's see. Rams beat the Jets 19-9. The Chiefs beat the Texans barely. That was just it. Yeah, 27-19. And Chargers beat the Broncos 34-17. Week 17 action. I'm trying to catch up. We're trying to catch up here. Ravens. Oh, my God. Beat the brakes off the Texans 31-2. But here's another one. The Lions and the 49ers. That was just last night. 40-34. Commanders went into overtime and beat the Falcons 30-24. Vikes 27-25. But, man, this thing between the Vikings and the Lions, this is getting crazy. 2 14-2 teams, and one's a wild card and one's in first place. Oh, my goodness. That's crazy. Let's see. Dolphins beat the Browns 23. Raiders beat again. The Raiders won another game. What? 25-10 over the Saints. Bills put a shellacking on Uncle Aaron, 40-14. But this is the one that got me the most. The Giants put 45 points up on the Colts. What? The Eagles 41-7 over the Cowboys. The Alice Cowgirls.
Alice Cowgirls, baby.
Yeah, okay, Let me see. Jaguars 20-13 over Tennessee over the $1 billion team. Rams 13-9 over the Cards. Cincinnati. Oh, that was a barn burner with the Broncos. Went in overtime to decide that 30-24. Chargers 40-7 over the Patriots. Seahawks 6-3 over the 6-3. I was in Vegas watching that game. And the Chiefs, they beat the Steelers 29-10. Steelers just been going downhill, haven't they? The Steelers have been going downhill. Where do you want to start? How about that?
Wow.
Because there's been a lot.
Where to go, honestly.
A lot going on.
I'm gonna let you get your insight on the whole NFC North conversation. We just talked about the Vikings and the Lions going for the number 1 seed next week, Sunday Night Football. Just share with everybody what your thoughts are for that game and just the division entirely, because just the way that this whole season has planned out for most of the teams, aside from the Bears, has been impeccable. What's your thoughts on it?
Okay. So as it started out, Detroit, the juggernaut, has been the juggernaut. And they just been like, okay, bam, we're finding a way to win. Matter of fact, we just gonna put it up on your head. We're those trick plays. We're gonna give it to our big old offensive lineman to even score a touchdown. They've been finding. I wouldn't even say finding a way to win. They've been whipping people. They've been beating the brakes off of them, left and right. And when I tell you Detroit ain't nothing to play with, and even with the injuries that they have had, it's been something else. And with Detroit just doing their thing and just vibing and just rolling, and even with the injuries that Detroit has had, they have still managed to just been playing and has been just whipping up on people. And they just been beating the brakes off everybody. Then look at Minnesota. Minnesota's like, oh, okay, Detroit, that's what you doing? We gonna one-up you. We gonna keep on coming back. And then Minnesota's like, okay, we gonna whip you. We gonna find a way to win. We gonna do this. Oh, but wait. Green Bay say, hey, don't forget about us. We're still down here too. So we gonna whip up on you. We gonna get some wins. And guess what? You're not gonna leave us out the conversation. And that whole division, other than the Bears, they just been waxing. So you got 3 teams out of one conference. 3 teams out of one conference that's in the playoffs. And this game between Detroit and Minnesota next week is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know something? I'm gonna give the edge to Minnesota because they're not hurt like Detroit is. But if it's anyone that can find a way to win, it's Detroit.
That's right.
Because Dan Campbell is just off the chain. And he will find a way for his people to win. Okay, let's go to the 49ers game last night. Look at that. They found a way to win. Their defense. I thought Purdy was playing for Detroit the way he was throwing passes to him.
Right, exactly. Like it was a practice.
Right. Like, oh, let me just throw this straight to you. I mean, it wasn't a defender nowhere near, and Purdy's throwing balls. So I'm like, what is this, pitch and catch to Detroit? And then you looking all upset on the sidelines. Like I said, them whole 3, I don't know what's going to happen. But that game between Minnesota and the Vikings, like I said, if it's anybody that can find a way to win, it's Detroit. But I'm not sure if they're going to be able to match up what Minnesota's going to do. But they won the last contest against them.
That's right.
So,
but that was close.
Yeah.
That was close. That went down to a field goal. So I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. This is a toss-up game, and I don't think you can go wrong with either team. I really don't. I think with Detroit, my personal issue with them is obviously the health on defense, because I feel like there's a bunch of guys that we don't know about that's playing right now because of the injuries. But it's one of those cases, man, where it's just, I don't know. Like, you got Minnesota, who it's been a while since they've lost a game.
Yes.
Detroit as well. Like, these teams are they're getting more and more impressive by the day. And it'll be interesting to see what happens for that game on Sunday night. It really is.
And what fitting way is to have it on Sunday Night Football? You should have it on Sunday Night Football. That's gonna be one of the greatest games I think of all time. But like I said, and I think they're playing in Detroit, aren't they?
Yeah, it's in Detroit.
Oh, even better. You know they're gonna be off the chain up there, off the chain. So I really don't know, because you still can't count out the Packers, even being a wild card.
That's right.
The Packers have a lot more better health than what Detroit has. Minnesota has a lot more better health than what Detroit has, right? They was talking about Agent Hutchinson trying to get back, but he's not gonna get back from a broken leg. Sir.
Such a long shot, man. You don't get to have the injury and the horrific injury that he had and think that you're gonna just have him come back. I know he's pushing for the Super Bowl, but that is a long shot. Even if they were to make it, it would still be risky to play him in that game. It just is.
Yes.
With the kind of injury that he had. So I would just immediately rule that out. That's not even in the equation. Now, if we're talking about David Montgomery, a guy who, I mean, it was a sprained MCL, if I'm not mistaken. It was some sort of knee issue. Could he mess around and come back? Maybe. I mean, but even then, it's like, I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, I know. I forgot. I've supposed been wearing a shirt. I'm supposed been wearing the podcast shirt. I know. I forgot. That's on me. That's on me. I was just so excited that we was getting back on the air. I was just happy about that. But no, David Montgomery, man. I mean, Dave was talking about what is it? I think they got 16 players that's hurt. They on the skeleton crew over there. Skeleton crew in Detroit. Don't get me wrong, and I ride with Detroit. I do. If they're not playing the Ravens, I'm riding with them. I'm like, if I had a favorite sec team, Detroit would be that favorite second team.
Same.
Detroit. It's just amazing of what they've done. Dan Campbell has done up there, and for somebody that was homegrown because he used to play for Detroit. He played for them. So he knows the insides, the outs. He knows how his team works. He's like, nah, I'm going to put a great system up here together. So that's going to be a big, big game. But, man, if Minnesota just jumped right out the gate with them, it depends on what Minnesota's defense can do to stop Detroit.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's 3 points last time. 3 points. So, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I might have to give the edge to Minnesota too, just because Detroit has too many injuries on defense. I think the last time they played, even the players that they had then, and this was earlier on in the season, so Aiden was playing. A lot of the guys they had was still playing in their front seven. That went down to 3. So even then, with them having the players that they had, it was a close game. I think with the roster they have now on defense, this could turn out to be a blowout. And if it gets to that point, I don't know what else there is to say. I never thought that I would ever see a 14-win team as a 5 seed.
A 5 seed and a wild card.
Yeah, that is unbelievable. Now, and I saw something yesterday. I was listening to a podcast, and they brought up about the 2 teams having the bye in the playoffs versus the team just having one. And me personally, I got both sides. Right. I understood why they wanted to have that 7 playoff team, because back then there was a lot of teams that were 10 games, 9 games that honestly could perform better than the teams that were already in the playoffs. And that 7th team was a chance for, that 10-win team or that 9-win team to squeak in. Now, it doesn't automatically mean that 7th seed ends up winning the whole thing, because that's never happened, but just that possibility was there because you wanted to have the extra game. You wanted to, you wanted to make getting the number 1 seed very important. I got that. At the same time, though, I didn't have a problem with them having two teams getting a first round bye, because those 2 teams have one of, if not the best records in the entire NFL. 4 of the 32 teams in the NFL have the best records in the NFL, and there's no disputing it. There's no denying that. So it's like when you see the Vikings and the Lions play on Sunday, and it's 14-win team going against a 14-win team, and the loser goes to the 5 seed, like that is
the 5 seed.
That's kind of crazy, But the thing is that even if you win, even if, either way, they would have been in the wild card. The loser would have been in the wild card anyway, because the first 4 are division winners. So,
yes.
So unfortunately, no matter what setup, no matter what format it would have been, it still would be the same scenario. It just sucks that second overall seed on both conferences don't get, that same bye like the first rounders do. But I get both sides of it. I really do. It just kind of sucks in scenarios like this where it's like, man, like 2 teams can't get a rest. They don't deserve it.
Right. We done had a great season, and you telling me we're a wild card? Yeah. Oh my goodness. But all eyes are going to be on that game. Yeah. Every last body is going to be on that game. But let me say this: congratulations to Saquon Barkley.
Sure.
He hit that 2,000. The Bird Gang has been doing it. I got to give you props. Your team beat the whole AFC North.
I tried to tell you, man. I tried.
Listen. I would say in that game we had a meltdown, and we blew that game, plain and simple, because we kept the Eagles on the sideline damn near the whole second half. Mm-hmm. And it just needed that little bit of time to come in and beat us, and that's what happened. And we just wasn't able to recover from it. Mental mistakes, but we're still doing. We're the most penalized team in the league. Most penalized team in the league, with the false starts, the pre-snap motions, with the illegal formations. We still having illegal formations, right? we the most penalized team, so we hurt ourselves in that game. So I can say congratulations again to the Philadelphia Eagles. You beat the whole AFC North. We got 3 out of 4. We won 3 out of 4. And you handed Lamar his second loss to that conference.
Deservedly
it's the Giants
so.
And the Eagles.
Deservedly so. The Giants part we would have never guessed, but this feels like a legitimate first team for Lamar to lose to in the conference.
Hey, listen,
it feels right.
And I'm giving him props because Saquon was a beast in that game too, because we still didn't have our defense really together. So I have to give it to the Eagles, and congratulations on that. Like I said, just trying to catch up on some things. Now I'm going to talk about that Eagles Commanders game, because I didn't think anybody from Kansas City was playing in that game. The way the refs swayed that game. Now y'all can throw shade at me all you want to. I don't care. The refs swayed that game towards Washington. Because the division should have been won in that game by the Eagles.
Easily.
And those egregious fouls. I'm like, how Commanders knock somebody's helmet off, but the Eagles get the flag? Give me a break. Wait. I'm just saying. I call a spade a spade. That was a spade. When we start knocking people's helmets off, but I get the flag, and I'm just standing there. My helmet was knocked off. Why I get the flag?
Yeah, and honestly, my whole face turned up at the beginning of the game, before all the recklessness happened, when Jalen Hurts on a scramble was going to the ground, got hit with a helmet-to-helmet hit. Like, it was clear as day. I don't know how many replays was needed, and there wasn't a flag thrown. He gets tossed out with a concussion. He has yet to play again. We don't even know. Like, I'm pretty sure, hopefully, he plays in the playoffs. But chances are that play wasn't ending in a flag. It wasn't a penalty. And once I saw that happening, I was like, oh, we're kind of screwed. No matter how many points we score, no matter how many touchdowns we get. Because how do you not call that? That was like blatant. It was a head-to-head hit. whether he was a runner, a running back, a wide receiver, like you hit him in the head. And once I saw that happen, it was kind of like, all right, well, I guess we need to just wait for something chaotic to happen. And that's literally what it was. We were screwed ever since then. Pickett couldn't even throw past 5 yards half the time. Like it was rough. It was really rough. And it still ended up being a close game, which was shocking.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, division games. You just never know how they go. Division games.
Right.
Division games. That's how they roll, division games. But, you know, like I said, I thought the Kansas City Chiefs was playing the way those wrestlers throwing that laundry on the field. And you know how we feel about the Chiefs. We always talk about it. You know, you do something wrong, they throwing everything to hit you. The Chiefs do it, nothing's happening. We didn't see that. We didn't see that at all.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, pass interference don't apply to that? Just like in the Texans game with the Chiefs. How he get offensive pass interference, and they was like, well, where was it? Where was the offensive pass interference?
Yeah. It's crazy.
I don't get it. I really don't get it. But like I said, you know, Eagles, they all lost that game, but that was a lot from the refs' hands. You want to come talk to me about it? I got time. I can talk about it.
Seriously.
But that was a travesty of justice. A travesty of justice, because the simple fact that your division should have been locked up or whatever. Yeah, it is funny. It is. It was a travesty of justice. They got ripped off. So, man, oh my goodness. What else? What else? So y'all rebound from that. What was the second game y'all played after that?
Man, we just finished playing Dallas, and we.
Oh yeah. The whipping y'all put on them.
Yeah. I want to put this out there about the whole Saquon thing.
Mm-hmm.
Look, we talked about this beforehand. Remove the fact that I'm an Eagles fan out of it, okay? As a fan of the NFL and as a fan of greatness entirely, he needs to get that record this weekend. He has to. I totally agree with you. I don't think that there needs to be a back and forth about it. Now, I would have a totally different viewpoint if he was actually further away. Like if he needed 200 yards or something like that, that's different. It's like, okay, let's just rest him, get ready for the playoffs, whatever. This record has been standing for 25 years. 25 years. Okay. And there has been a lot of running backs that's gotten really close. The closest being Adrian Peterson being 9 yards shy. He was that close on that MVP season of winning it. It was all his. And he didn't get it. And I remember, as young as I was, when he got the 2,000 yards mark, I remember that game that he played, how even though they won that game, it was still kind of bittersweet because he didn't get the record, and he was that close. And so I'm like, let's not have history repeat itself. I think it's very sweet to have Saquon. It's one thing for him to get the record. I just think it is it's the ultimate middle finger to the New York Giants. To say, hey,
absolutely.
You know what? I thought that I was worth value to this franchise. Apparently not. You let me walk. That's fine. I'm going to go to a team in division. I'm going to not only get the record, but I'm going to get the record against y'all at home in Philly. And I think the cherry on top, and this is the part that I would be laughing like until the day I die, is he breaks a record, right? And the Giants win that game. Let's say the final score is 14-3, something weird like that. Like, we're like, man, we can't do nothing on offense, but Saquon's running the ball. It's on purpose, guys. Let's have Saquon get the record, take him out, right? Rest him, and have the Giants win the game. The Giants win. They go out of the top 5 in the draft. because of their incompetence. And that is like a cherry on top of like it doesn't, you can't write a better story than that. I'm being honest. You can't write a better story than that. The guy that you decide to give up on plays your team.
Right.
Yeah, we lose to y'all, but that's because we have nothing to play for. And he gets the record. And not only that, we lost to y'all so that way y'all can get out of the top 5. Have fun. Like, that would be so poetically great. I don't care what we do the rest of the season. That would be awesome. I would always laugh about it to my grave. It will never end. Every time somebody wants to try to poke fun at the Eagles, I'll say we were a part of a team that had a running back that made a franchise do 2 things at one time, and they both made history in doing so, and we had fun while doing it. I would always find the joy in that. Always.
Yeah, I would too. That
and I know I'm not the only
hilarious.
one.
That'd be completely hilarious. Hey, you know,
I know I'm not the only one.
We got to check on Dave, you know, because it's 49ers. You know, we got to check on Dave. We got to make sure I check on Dave. Because the 49ers is just, yeah, he's not, yeah. We definitely got to check on Dave with the 49ers. Check, but you know something, though? Like I said, congratulations to the Eagles on winning that division. You know, it's just now we're up. All we got to do is beat Cleveland. Because, you know, them last 3 games, that 3-game stretch for the Steelers just wasn't good for them, was it? I think we kicked it off.
we talked about it at the beginning of the year. It was like that stretch was brutal, and this was before everything happened. Like we didn't even know what different injuries were going to happen, how the Steelers were going to do, or the other teams that they had to play against. Like, we did not know a single thing. We saw that schedule, and it was like, this is kind of rough.
It's going to be hard. That's hard for the whole AFC North. That's hard. And they went downhill. But as I preached, and I said this, if you put pressure on Russell Wilson, he just caves. He don't even try to get out of it. That's the difference between him and Justin Fields. At least Fields is going to scramble out of there and try to find something. Russ, he said pressure coming in, he just caves. Now, he has escaped some pressure. I had to give it to him. He has escaped a lot of pressure from a lot of things. But when you start playing those household name teams, like let's go with Kansas City, because they wore him out.
Yeah.
Kansas City wore him out. They wore him out.
For the whole game.
And Chris Jones wasn't even in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Jones wasn't even in the game. Other people was getting to him.
Right.
And it just shows, okay, your offense is not that good, even with Pickens in the game. Mm-hmm. Even with Pickens in the game. Now, don't get me wrong. Pickens is a beast. A beast. He threw some of the passes up. I did not think that he would catch that ball. Absolutely. And he was catching them balls. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. But again, when you start going up against these powerhouse teams, it's like, okay, we're going to put it on you. We're going to put this defense on you, and we're going to see if you can stop us. And he couldn't. They was getting pressure to him. They were sacking him and whatever. Yep. Even when it came to the Baltimore game. And he was looking good. I was like, oh, here we go. Scores tied, 17-17. And he runs that ball down that field, trying to go for the touchdown slide. And who did he get popped by? Kyle Van Noy. Fumble. That was the whole momentum changer of the whole game. Whole momentum changer. Definitely. Then Lamar goes down, right? Throws that damn pick. But remember, we talked about this, and I said that's not on Lamar, that's on Bateman. Because Bateman stopped on that route.
Correct.
Because it was a crosser. And Lamar threw it thinking Bateman was going to be there. And what was his name? Fitzgerald? Fitzpatrick? Somebody picked the ball off, right?
Minka Fitzpatrick.
Minka Fitzpatrick. Yeah, Minka Fitzpatrick. So intercepts the ball. Okay, back in business. 2 plays later, what happened? Russ gets out of pressure, throws the ball. Who's there? Marlon Humphrey. Took the pass. Took the pass, took it from him. And the game was over after that. We killed their will. And ever since then, that 3-game stretch just was not good for them. So, of course, in the war room, you know how they do. Oh, the Ravens, y'all haven't really beat a reputable team. Are you saying the Steelers not a reputable team? Y'all not a reputable team? Come on now. Stop playing. We beat y'all. Yeah. Okay? Y'all beat us. I didn't make any excuses for that game. We lost. Okay? Mm-hmm. Were there a lot of mistakes in the game? Yeah, it was. We lost. Okay? It is what it is. Yeah. Take that L and keep it moving. Because the Bengals are going to give you one too.
Hey, I know that they need some help. And
they do.
It looks like they're still not going to make it. If they end up getting in, I am not joking. Look out.
Oh, man, absolutely.
I get it. The defense is bad. I get it. I don't care. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase,
and T.
Higgins.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need, apparently. It's ridiculous what they've been doing for the last 2 months now. And like I said, I know they need some help, and chances are they're probably not going to get in, which kind of sucks. Right. But at the same time, this is what happens when you lose to New England week 1 and you lose to Kansas City week 2, and like you just have these games that you should have won.
That game. They should have won that game.
Yeah, you should be winning some of these games, but either way, let's hope and pray that they don't get in. They get in, it's going to be a problem.
I hope and pray they do get in. And here's a reason why. And I've said this over plenty of times. Cincinnati has always had Kansas City's number. Always. They've always. But you see, if they do get in, they're going to get in the last seed. That means they got to play Buffalo. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. They will have to play Buffalo. They will have to go to Buffalo. Now, don't get me wrong. They've beaten Buffalo on their way to the Super Bowl. But this is a different Buffalo. This is a different Buffalo squad. So
yeah,
it is.
No,
it is.
It's a different Buffalo squad, but if it's Cincinnati and Buffalo, it is not a sure thing that Buffalo wins that game. It really isn't, because if it becomes a shootout, which it definitely can be, I don't know. I don't know who you would rather have other than Joe Burrow. I really don't.
I didn't see you the voicemail at all. Phone never rung. Well, welcome. So, but yeah, yeah. So I'm like this, man. It is what it is. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. But your reputable teams, you already see how the playoff picture is playing out. This is what it is. No other teams matter right now. No other teams matter. Yeah.
Hey, Captain.
So it is what it is. But like I said, we jumped on here just for a quick second, just talking about some things and getting that stuff wrapped up. But we probably just gonna go ahead and jump off, because I know my man got something to do. I got a couple things I gotta do. So, you know something? I'm not giving out any brown bags.
No brown bags.
I'm gonna wait till no brown bag. I'm gonna wait till week 18 to give out a brown bag.
Nice.
Yeah, I ain't gonna give out no brown bags this week, because I could give it to the Colts. We're losing to the Giants for allowing the Giants to put 4-5 points up on.
We need to have a conversation about the Colts too, man, because that team, that team is really, you ever, what's the perfect analogy for them? You ever see someone that you work with and you're like, you work with them and you're like, you know what? They're not all that bad. And then when they're by themselves, you're like, how did they get the job in the first place? It's like with them, it's like they have talent. They have pieces. They have Jonathan Taylor. They have Michael Pittman. They have these guys. And then it's like you watch the way that they played on Sunday, and you're just like, this is the same team.
What in the world happened?
Yeah. Like this is not the same team, is it?
Right. Who are you guys?
Yeah. And it's we might need to start having a conversation because I don't know how many years we've gone by and been like, you know what, the Colts is a solid team. They have a chance to do X, Y, and Z. If this, if that. There's only but so many years that you can keep doing that. And I don't know what the change is. Obviously, the head coach is not the issue. Maybe quarterback. I don't know. Maybe you want to give him, I don't know, more reps. I don't know. I don't know what the case is, but something has to change. And it might have to be in the front office because
yeah, that's where it probably has to start. The front office.
That's I don't, and this is year in and year out. Like I'm like, oh, okay, Colts doing pretty solid, okay. And then they have a game like Sunday, and you're just like, is that an NFL football team? Really?
Right.
Okay. Like it's, so.
I said, wait a minute. I'm not looking at this right. I said, this can't be right. 45? They put 45 points? Okay.
Man, Malik Neighbors was running around like he was Randy Moss and Justin Jefferson combined.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know what that was about, man. I really don't.
I think I figured it out. They all took some Red Bull and gave them wings. That's what it was.
Brutally true. Brutally true.
That's what happened. But
that
hey,
makes more sense.
Yeah, it gave Red Bull gave him wings. That's what it was. But ladies, gentlemen, whoever tuned in, thank you so much. Last show of the year, we appreciate you. I definitely want to give a shout out to everyone around the world that's downloaded the show. We had an incredible surge of downloads. It was 90 in like 7 days. So wherever you download this show, thank you. I appreciate you. I see Singapore. Y'all give us a lot of love, so I appreciate Singapore. Hope a couple other countries in Africa has downloaded the show. Wherever you've downloaded the show, wherever you listen to the show, we appreciate you. We thank you. We thank you for your engagement. You can always send us messages. You can always come on the show. YouTube at DK and Tree Podcast. You will find us. So again, thank you, everyone. Happy New Year to you. We will see you next year.